A very good evening to you and welcome to the special local government election broadcast. My name is Leanne Manus and we are coming to you live from the Independent Electoral Commission's National Results Operations Centre at the Tshwane Event Centre in Pretoria. Well, in this evening's show, we're going to be showing you exactly what you can expect from SABC News' television coverage of the mammoth local government elections. And one thing we have realised is that the South African public is expecting a lot from the national broadcaster. So we've come to the party, but let's tell you exactly what people are expecting us to do in order to cover the elections. Take a look.
I am satisfied. On the radio, we hear about it every day. The TV, they're just covering almost, yeah. They are trying their best.
They are doing very well to broadcast every party on the television for each and everyone. I think they are really ready.
I think he has the capacity to do so. So yeah, I think everything will go well.
We're finding what's shown on TV very one-sided. Every time I switch it on, it's all about the ANC. I'm not sure if it's fair.
I am, because seemingly everybody is aware of what is happening around the country, and everybody is educated up so far.
What new shows on TV actually concerning IEC voting and stuff. Yeah, so I've seen a lot.
I've heard of things on radios and TVs, and there are billboards as well around the area. So yeah, there have been a lot of things that make us aware of the elections that are coming.
Well, it's interesting to see what South Africans are thinking of the SABC's election coverage. You're more than welcome to get hold of us as well if you would like to. Elections at sabc.co.za. That's where you can get hold of us and drop us an email. Let us know what you think so far. We're going to be joined a little bit later on in the program by the SABC's Group Executive of News and Current Affairs, Phil Molefe, to tell you exactly what to expect over these next couple of days as South Africans prepare to go to the polls tomorrow. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll take you behind the scenes of what the SABC are doing for these elections. Stay tuned.
What's a good day to use Dettol? Monday, when she's a ballerina. Thursday, when I'm a teacher. Or maybe Saturday, when I'm a mother. It's every day, because germs never take a day off. Now new Dettol skincare with improved fragrance and added moisturizers gives you trusted protection from germs for healthy, moisturized skin. Dettol. Be 100% sure every day.
You do so much to protect your little one, like choosing Nido Growing Up Milk with Prebio 1 from Nestle. So we're doing something for you. Get down to your nearest Nido stockist and find out how you could win one of 3 Renault Grand Scenic DCIs in the Nestle Nido Loving Heart competition.
Knorr Kappa Soup has blended together the best quality ingredients such as lush green beans, crunchy carrots and the tastiest tomatoes, so you can enjoy the most delectable soup with an intense taste you'll lose yourself in. The goodness of real ingredients.
Welcome back to the Independent Electoral Commission's National Results Operations Centre in Tshwane. Here we're broadcasting live, and we will be doing so for the next couple of days as the elections start heating up. Now, let's take a look at the election news that happened today. Richard Ingram compiled this report for us.
Political parties have only about 6 hours left to try to influence voters to support them at tomorrow's local government election. After midnight tonight, no more electioneering will be allowed, and voting stations open at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The SABC board chairperson, Ben Gubane, today gave an assurance that the public broadcaster was more than ready to cover the elections. Speaking at the IEC National Results Centre in Pretoria, he said the SABC had also played a crucial role during the build-up to the election. Dr. Gubani said over 1,000 SABC staff had been deployed around the country to provide viewers and listeners with continuous and comprehensive election coverage.
It is here that the expression of our democratic process is going to come out. People will know that we voted, and the people will feel that the votes were counted properly and reported properly, that they will have faith in the democratic process in our constitution, in our government, and in our country.
The 8 metropolitan areas in South Africa are focal points in tomorrow's election. Although considerable campaigning was done in the rural areas as well, most political parties concentrated their efforts on the metropolitan areas.
From the latest opinion poll we've done, it looks as if the DA will win the race in Cape Town, but they might need a coalition partner to outright govern the city. The ANC is going to win quite comfortably 4 of the metros. They are Buffalo City, East London, which they're going to probably win with the biggest margin, Mangaung or Bloemfontein, then Ekurhuleni and Johannesburg. It also looks as if they might win the Durban Metro, eThekwini, but in that case they might need a coalition partner. And then I'm afraid that the races in Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela Bay and Tshwane or Pretoria are both too close to call. It's really very, very close. And it really depends on what the undecided voters do in these 2 areas.
The ANC deployed its heavyweights around the Western Cape again today in yet another bid to convince undecided voters to go out and dislodge the DA from the city of Cape Town and other municipalities in the region. ANC Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe and a National Executive Committee member, Lindiwe Sisulu, crisscrossed the province in a last-minute hope of securing more votes for the party.
And most important of all is to remind our supporters, our voters, that tomorrow they must go and cast that vote, because each one of those votes count. We will not win these elections in rallies and through rallies, but tomorrow to ensure that each and every ANC supporter goes out to vote for the ANC.
In Port Elizabeth, the DA leader, Helen Zille, again took to the streets of the city in a final push before the polls. Ms. Zille believes the Nelson Bay Metro is within the DA's grasp and encouraged voters to cast their ballots.
We've seen unbelievable support. We've traveled many kilometers with this bus, and everywhere people have rushed out of their houses in all communities all over the place to greet us and to wave and to welcome us. So it's been really unbelievable.
Most voting stations will be open tomorrow from 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
Well, that was a wrap of the election news from Richard Ingram. Thank you very much for compiling that report. Now, for immediate access to all the 2011 elections information, anywhere, anytime, the SABC is your #1 source. At the point of a TV remote, the press of a radio button, or the click of a mouse, we will tell it all as it happens. Isabel de Taillefer has filed this report for us.
We don't want to take Cape Town to become like Johannesburg, where the ANC has got a billing crisis, they've got potholes.
Passions ran high in the run-up to this election.
The DA should be careful. The DA members should be really careful, because tomorrow the Lily's going to be with another party.
It's being regarded as the most important local ballot since 1996. The polls predict an unprecedented voter turnout, and the national broadcaster will be covering it all in 12 languages on radio, television and the internet. Over the past weekend, technical and news staff put up camp here at the IEC's Nerve Centre in Pretoria to prepare for the main broadcast. A crew of close to 1,200 will make sure you have the best view on a nation going to the polls.
We are going to have about 100 cameras deployed across the country. We will have 26 different outside broadcasting points across the country. We'll be at all the IEC offices in all 9 provinces. We will have the complete picture of what is happening on Election Day.
Our election show kicks off early tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. There'll also be a show at midday and another in the early evening. The first results should already be in by the final slot of the day. And for the first time, results coverage will continue right through the night, so keep that coffee machine going. This will be followed by 4 more results shows on Thursday and another early Friday morning. Results will be presented in a brand new, crisp and colourful display. The SABC's invested in a digital graphic program of the highest international standard. Each graphic type was individually designed by a production team to ensure the information is complete and easy to understand.
The graphic system that we have is really world class. The kind of graphics we are going to see is what you see in other international broadcasters. It's beautiful.
To help interpret the results, a panel of independent experts will be in the studio with on-the-spot analysis. And to add some spice, the SABC is also liaising with the CSIR to provide scientifically based early predictions of the outcome. The final results announcement by the IEC is expected late Saturday afternoon and will be broadcast live. Election news, results and in-depth analysis will also be available on the SABC's news website at sabcnews.com. Isabel de Taifa, SABC News, Pretoria.
If I can just make one correction for you there. I do know that tomorrow's broadcast is from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the next broadcast will start at 12 o'clock on voting day. So just set your clock. We've got everything for you. As you've just heard, all election news and related information will be available on our news website too. So the SABC will be covering this election on all 3 media platforms. Adrian Abada took a closer look at the inside workings of our digital news department.
The editor of SABC's Digital News is doing his final preparation before the first votes are cast early tomorrow morning. Isak Minnar has been involved in every election broadcast since 1994. So if you find yourself at the office or without access to a television set or radio, his crew will ensure all you need to know is only a mouse click away. SABCnews.com will have it all.
The SABC launched an elections website at sabc.co.za/elections, where we publish exclusively stories about the elections, about the news stories, what's happening every day, the party campaigns. We have lots of content also on the best election content on radio and TV. We publish analysis pieces by the SABC panel of analysts. We have voter information there. We have information about the parties, and we're updating it minute by minute during the day. So anybody can go there and get the good coverage on the elections on the same website. We will also from Wednesday night have a range of results options, so people will be able to see how the national picture looks like in terms of the race for votes and how the turnout is going and the counting progress. And you will be able to get your ward results and your council results or summaries for the whole of the country. So on the website we'll have a whole range of results options from Wednesday night.
And in the age of mobile phones, you don't need a personal computer to stay up to date with the latest results.
On the mobile site, we will have result summaries, top 3 parties. You can also get your ward results, who's my ward councillor, which party is in charge in my council, as well as summaries for the whole country.
Type in www.sabcmobile.co.za from your mobile phone, and you will have access to all the election news and results. To access Newsbreak, simply dial 082-152 from any mobile or landline. Listen to the voice prompts and select option 8 for all the latest election results. And there you have it, all the latest election results in the palm of your hand. Adrian Abeda, SABC News, Pretoria.
Well, I think one of the greatest challenges the SABC is also not threatened by. It's ready to meet the challenge of bringing you up to date of what's happening in the remotest corners of South Africa. Zimkita Maknwane, who is based in the rural areas of the Transkei, filed this report for us.
The SABC broadcast for total citizenship empowerment. As the country goes to the polls on Wednesday, hundreds of television and radio journalists have been deployed to many areas of the country to bring viewers and listeners the latest news. State-of-the-art equipment has also been deployed to far-flung rural areas to ensure quality broadcasts. All of this to give citizens an opportunity to get their voices heard.
I don't normally read a dispatch. That is why I'm always listening to SABC.
The SABC is giving us information, fruitful information, or it's informative regard to the election.
Inclement weather and poor road conditions are no barrier for SABC to reach those areas to tell the stories of residents. The SABC has been bringing you campaigns by different political parties, updates from the IEC, and voices of the people from the ground. During elections, we'll bring live coverage from all polling stations across the country until the results are announced. Zimkita Maknwane, SABC News, Rural Transkei.
All right, let's talk about this further with the SABC's Group Executive of News and Current Affairs, Phil Molefe. He is right here with me at the IEC Centre in Pretoria. Good to have you, Phil. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
We've been hearing from the inserts and seeing everything that the SABC is ready. Let's get it from you. Are we ready to do all of this tomorrow?
Yes, indeed. We are ready to really get it rolling tomorrow, because we have been preparing for this big event since the last election. So it has been work all the way, and we started preparing for this, and we had clear timelines and phases that we followed: the registration and voter education phase, the campaign phase, and now the election and results phase. We have the infrastructure in just about every corner of this country. We have deployed resources throughout the length and breadth of our land. So I think we are ready, and we have been doing it in the last few days, crossing live to provinces and to various localities. So I think we are going to give South Africa the best show ever. And if you are at home after you have had the opportunity to cast your vote, I think the SABC is your best friend. Get yourself a front row where you will get an up-to-the-minute coverage of the day's event. It's a big day on the calendar of our democratic country.
What's the feedback been like? Because obviously this didn't all start this week. We've been building up for this moment for quite some time. We saw an insert where the President actually visited this and acknowledged the SABC's coverage. Talk us through some of the feedback.
Yes, indeed. The feedback has been excellent from, the full spectrum of the political landscape. From the left to the right, we have received excellent reviews from people who had been following this intensive, process, and they have watched our debates, our coverage. We have received positive feedback from political parties, from ordinary people in the rural areas, because they have received news in their own language on stations of their choice. Of course, there will be challenges here and there, because this has been the highly contested election ever. So it inevitably placed enormous pressure on us as broadcasters. How do you then tell the story of such a diverse, group of parties contesting an election? So we have done well, except of course one or two incidents and one, newspaper, very insignificant and irrelevant in my view, because it's a newspaper that was born out of the spoils of apartheid. The Citizen newspaper, in my view, is the lapdog of apartheid, so I wouldn't even really pay attention to that newspaper. So on the whole, we have really received very, very positive feedback, and I think we will pass the acid test The final lap is tomorrow, when we now do the actual voting itself and the results. And this is where we will prove our worth as a public service broadcaster.
What about equitable coverage? Let's go a little bit more into this. I mean, it is difficult. We've got 121 parties, excuse me if I've got the figure wrong, contesting these elections. You've got the ANC, which of course is the major party in South Africa, and it's no secret to anyone that gets the majority of the votes. How do you divide the public broadcasters' airtime and voice amongst all of these parties to try and give that equitable coverage?
First and foremost, it needs to be borne in mind that equitable does not mean equal. Equitable is a principle that is universally applied. It is applied in many institutions. It is used in Parliament, for example, and it is a principle that even political parties subscribe to. In Parliament, when there is a debate, this is how the principle of equitability is applied. The ruling party would get, for example, 10 minutes, the opposition 7 minutes, other opposition parties 5 minutes, and the smaller parties 3 minutes, 2 minutes to 1 minute, or even none at all. Or even in funding political parties, the principle of equitability is applied. The parties don't get the same amount of money. It is applied equitably. And my understanding, and this is the English definition of equitable, it means a fair and just allocation of time. That does not mean equal. So we have really tried to adhere to this principle. And I think on the whole, we have done remarkably well to allocate time and coverage equitably. And throughout the election phase, I think the SABC and this even monitoring will attest to the fact that we have been fair, consistent and equitable in our coverage of elections.
Let's leave it there for this evening. Mr. Molefe, of course, is the SABC's Group Executive of News and Current Affairs. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. Well, tomorrow is the moment where we will hopefully shine, and I'm sure we will, no doubt. That's when elections start, 6 o'clock. Tune in, and we'll have all the coverage for you. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take a quick look at the preparations for tomorrow's election in some of our main regions. Stay right where you are.
Ngozi sigeleli Afrika maluphakanyiswa uphondo lwayo izwa imithandazo yethu sounds so cold to come together. And united we shall stand. Let us live and shout for freedom in South Africa.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching a special pre-election broadcast coming to you live from the hub of the IEC Centre right here in Pretoria. The big day finally arriving tomorrow when millions of South Africans will be going to the polls at 7 o'clock to elect new local councillors for another 5-year term. And the SABC will be ready to bring you all the election news as it unfolds. And to find out just how ready the SABC machine is, let's cross over to Mkokeli Tanda in Cape Town and find out how they're doing.
Welcome to the Western Cape IEC Results Centre in Bellville South near Cape Town. All systems are in place for the SABC in the region to bring you this year's local government elections. Reporters have been deployed across the length and the breadth of the province. They will keep you informed and up to speed on what's happening in our province. The SABC News Research Unit, an arm of the SABC News Division, is providing us with well-researched information that will assist our reporters and editors in bringing you an informative news broadcast of the elections. In our election broadcast, we will profile the people of the province and bring you live coverage of prominent leaders voting in the Western Cape. Our technical infrastructure covers the Southern Cape, the Peninsula, Boland and Overberg. SABC outside broadcast vans will be roving in George, Plettenberg Bay, Knysna, Worcester, the Cape Flats, South Peninsula and the city of Cape Town. With that, let's now cross to our colleague in the Eastern Cape, Janine Lee.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome to the Eastern Cape, to East London. We are broadcasting to you live from the IEC Results Centre here on the beachfront. Now, isn't it wonderful that we can bring you the election story from a beautiful backdrop like this? But as you said, we have reporters here in our province all over. In Nelson Mandela Bay, which has been identified as a hotspot, we have Nomowetu Solwandle. She will be bringing us the news as it happens from there. And for the rural story, the remote vote in the deepest, remotest parts of our province, parts of the Transkei, we have Zimkita Matingwane. She will be bringing us that story. Here in East London at the IEC Results Centre on the floor will be Lumko Jumlonga. He will be updating us with what's happening there. In addition to that, we have journalists, producers for both television and radio who will be helping us bring you the election story from this province. Now, although we have a wonderful backdrop here with the Indian Ocean, things are not possible without technology. And now to make this all possible, as you can see behind me, we have the DSNG vans, we have cables, we have technology, and without that, it would not be possible for us to bring you the urban and the rural vote, which we will be doing. So from all of us here in the Eastern Cape, we look forward to bringing you the election story from this province. And it's over to Blaine Herman, my colleague in Durban.
Well, a very good evening and welcome to the IEC Results Centre in Durban. Well, at this stage, we're told all procedures and processes, including security plans, are in place to ensure successful local government elections in KwaZulu-Natal. Remember, there are 4.6 million registered voters in the province compared to the 3.8 million for the 2006 local government election. So a marked increase indeed. And of course, the SABC is on top of things in this province. We have got reporters stationed all across KZN. Just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, we're working with a 50-member TV crew and close to a 60-member radio crew fanned out across the province, so you can be rest assured that we will have all angles covered, bringing you the very latest news as it happens. That's how things stand here in KZN. Let's now cross over to Griselda Lewis in Gauteng.
Well, thank you very much, Blaine. Yes, it's all systems go in Gauteng for tomorrow's election. Now, this province is set to have the heaviest voter load than anywhere in the country. 13 million ballot papers have been printed just for this province. Now, the IEC will be on the lookout for areas like the Alexandra Township, Bromfisher, Joubert Park, in the inner city Johannesburg area, Orange Farm, Livenhout Bosch and Tepisong, where high registration levels have been recorded. I'll be speaking to our reporters Valdi Carlsa, Matau Mutwa, Esmery Prinsloo and Mangoba Mtunu, who will be bringing us blow-by-blow live coverage of voting in the province. Now it's back to the IEC Results Centre in Pretoria.
Griselda, thank you very much. Get used to those faces you're going to be seeing on your screen a lot, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. Our next election show starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's a show called Morning Live, and I'll be on it, and I'll see you there. Have a fantastic evening, and rest well. Tomorrow is voting day. We want to see you all there. God bless everyone. Good night, and have a lovely evening.